Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit of a rundown about how my channel is going to be changing a little bit in 2021. Before getting into the specifics, I want to give a little bit of a heads up as to why I'm kind of really thinking through these sorts of things, and it has to do with the fact that YouTube has kind of strangely become my job, which was not something I ever anticipated or expected. But I kind of stumbled into it through some unusual circumstances. So if you're new here, hello. I used to teach private violin lessons, and I did really enjoy doing that, but I have been doing that for about 10 years because I started when I was 17. It's what I went to school for. I went to school for music education. And 10 years doing one job is, I think, a very fulfilling amount of time to do that. And YouTube was always a hobby and something that I enjoyed doing. It allowed me to have this outlet for storytelling because I love, not me to tell stories, but to talk about stories that I love. And so I've had so much fun with this hobby. But this last year, because 2020 has been crazy, I had to stop teaching when quarantine started. Because obviously, sometimes my students would come to me, sometimes I would go to their homes. But either way, that's not really an option when you're supposed to be avoiding contact with other people. And on top of that, right around when quarantine started is when my father started to have health issues. And if you don't know, after being quite healthy, he went from being quite healthy to passing away this year. And I became his caretaker. When things started to happen, that became my full-time job, and then YouTube was just something still that was a hobby that I did on the side when I could, when he was taking naps, when he had to go back to the hospital, those sorts of things. And while I was really grateful to have this and to have so many of you who are so lovely be there for me and be really understanding when I couldn't be consistent or be really understanding when I couldn't post basically at all, I was still having this little corner where I could have some sense of normalcy. And I really appreciated that. But now that I am no longer my father's caretaker and the option of teaching is possible to come back to at some point, but also I think I'm ready to move into something different because, like I said, I had been doing it for 10 years, that I decided that I would just stick with YouTube for now. I'm in a position where I can do that. But I never want YouTube to become something where I'm constantly thinking about money, I'm constantly thinking about analytics, I'm constantly thinking about views. I don't really care about those things. To some extent, everybody who makes videos, I feel like, cares a little bit because you make videos so that people will watch them. Otherwise, you would just make them and then never post them if it's really, truly just for you. But I do enjoy engaging with people. I do enjoy getting to know other people, but it's not purely about money. It's not about subscribers. It's just about enjoying making, I hate saying making content. I don't know why. It just sounds obnoxious sometimes, but not any shade to people who say making content. I just feel weird saying that. But either way, I want to ensure that when I sit down to make videos, that I'm making videos that are fun, entertaining, exciting, engaging, and that I always enjoy doing it, because I do not want this to become a thing where it's all about making money and maximizing views and profit and things like that. I truly do not do this for that reason. I do sometimes think it is obvious when it becomes a job and it becomes taxing and it becomes about money. I think sometimes you can tell, you can see it. It starts to feel less like somebody who wants to be doing this because of the content, and it starts to feel like it's more about the money. And I just don't want to do that. And so I was looking through and I was trying to figure out what are the best kinds of videos, what structure for myself with uploading videos, what's going to work best to make sure that I'm always enjoying myself and that you are always enjoying yourselves, and that we collectively embrace the wonderful community that is BookTube and try to make it better. So I'm going to list off the ways in which my channel is going to be changing. It's not anything crazy or anything, but I'm excited because I think there's some things that I'm going to be doing that all of you are probably going to really like also. So I'm going to go through what those things are. First off, the biggest change is that I'm planning on having consistent days off on Wednesdays. And the reason Wednesday is the day is because if you don't know, I have a collaborative channel that I started called World Hoppers. All the AdSense revenue from World Hoppers goes to charity, and we have World Hopper Wednesdays where, unless there's holidays or things like that, the plan is to always have videos go up on Wednesdays. And I want to ensure that I take time away from my channel so that the focus on Wednesdays can be on World Hoppers, because raising money for charity I think is more important than getting views on my own channel. So I'm planning on not having videos go up on Wednesdays. There might occasionally be exceptions, and I might also occasionally take other days off, but I'm planning on 6 uploads roughly a week. Also, I am a huge fan of anime, and I'm a huge fan of video games. And those are 2 things that I would like to incorporate into my channel more. I'm wanting to do anime content at least twice a month. I'm thinking 2 anime reviews or fandom type videos in a month. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how much time I have to sit and watch TV, especially because I want that to be with my husband, who I know a lot of you enjoy when he hops on. So we actually just watched The Promised Neverland and we did a review for that. So that kind of content, I want to do more of that because I love anime. I know a lot of you love anime too. So I really want to be able to geek out over anime with all of you. I would like to do 2 reading wrap-ups a month. So a mid-month wrap-up and then an end-of-the-month wrap-up. And the reason is I want to do at least 1 book review a week. I think I'm going to try to make Sunday the day for book reviews. And I don't know that that will provide enough time for me to review everything I'm reading. So I'm hoping that in doing these mid-month wrap-ups that it will kind of serve as mini reviews for all of the books that I'm reading up through that point. And then you'll get the end of the month wrap-ups that will discuss the rest of the books. And then I'll have the in-depth ones for the ones that I think maybe either deserve more recognition or that all of you are the most interested in, those sorts of things. But hopefully 4 reviews a month and 2 wrap-ups reading centered a month. I had wanted to do more vlogs this year, but obviously given the very sad circumstances of my life this year, that would have been, 1, totally inappropriate, I think, to have vlogged what was going on, and also just would have been the biggest bummer ever. So I would like to start doing vlogs now that hopefully my life isn't so sad and depressing. And I mentioned previously that I want to travel more in my life in general, and I think it'd be really fun to combine reading vlogs with travel vlogs. I did one when my husband and I celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary, and that was so much fun. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I just love traveling, and I love all the beautiful places in the world that I want to go explore, that I have explored. I think it'd be really fun to take you all along with, and then also get to chat about books. It's like dream come true. So I'm planning on doing more vlogs. Not all of them will be travel vlogs. I'm hoping to do 2 vlogs a month. Every week is too much for me. I can't do it's just too much like constantly recording myself, and I don't want to do that. So I want to enjoy life outside of YouTube. Hopefully you understand. But I'm thinking 2 a month will be a fun way to keep up with all of you. On the weeks when I'm not doing vlogs, I want to do the occasional chatty discussion video. I really enjoy doing those types of things. I don't think that a lot of the chats that I want to do are particularly controversial necessarily, but they are definitely things that maybe have a hint of juiciness to them, some of the topics. Not anything like shady or anything like that. Just, I don't know, like I recently saw a big debate about, as an example, whether classics should be required reading in schools, and I really want to have a video discussing that. So chatty discussions I think would be really fun to do, and also would just be a good opportunity for us to kind of reflect on our thoughts about certain topics, or bring up topics that maybe you haven't really thought too much about, and you can see my perspective and then other perspectives in the comment section. I also want to get back in the habit of doing quarterly goals. I really like doing quarterly goals. This year, just like with everything else, threw everything off. So I'm hoping to get back in the habit of doing those, and those will cover reading goals, life goals, and then writing goals, because if you don't know, I have a book. That's my book right there. And it's a first book in a series, and I have a decent amount of book 2 already written, but I really want to get back into it, and I I don't know that 2021 is going to be the year that it comes out because this year just totally wrecked everything. So either toward the end of 2021 or sometime 2022 is when I would like to get that released. So the quarterly goals not only are going to help with just everyday life stuff and reading stuff, but also keeping me on track with writing. And the last goal, which is the one that I think is going to be arguably the most helpful for all of you, is because I am going to have this be basically a job, right? I just feel weird saying that YouTube is a job, but if it is, I want to make sure that I am providing essentially like a service in some way, something that is helpful to all of you. And obviously I think book reviews or just entertainment in general is helpful, but there are so many cool releases that are always coming out with books. And I love watching anticipated releases videos. I like making them. I like keeping up with the books that sound interesting and seeing what people are thinking of them. But I do feel like we get a lot of anticipated releases videos, and then there will be like a couple of books from these various videos that really kind of are highlighted on BookTube, and they're the ones that get the attention, and the rest, you kind of are like, you never hear much about them. You'll hear about them a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, they'll start to resurface and gain popularity. But what I want to do is really prioritize new releases as well as older stuff. I have tons of other books I still want to read, but with the additional time I'll have to dedicate towards YouTube, I want that to be something that I dedicate time towards, is reading a lot of these newer releases. At the end of every quarter, I want to do an anticipated releases wrap up type of video. I did that at the beginning of 2019 before everything went crazy, and I want to do that again. I want to try and get more arcs so that I can be more helpful to all of you in deciding if these new books that are coming out, if they are really going to fit your taste or not. What's up with these books? Are they good? Are they interesting? Are they unique? I want to be able to help all of you in deciding if you, because newer releases obviously are going to cost probably more money, but also new releases, how well a book does when it's released affects the authors pretty significantly. I don't know, I want to do what I can to help not only all of you, but authors as well. So I'm hoping to prioritize new releases a little bit more than perhaps I have done in the past. Anyway, that is it for some channel changes for 2021. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. I'm really looking forward to the start of the new year and incorporating these changes. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.